Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Virtual Storytime at MDPLS. My name is Jennifer, and I work at the North Dade Regional Library. Today, we're going to do a story time that doubles as a couple of simple crafts that you can do at home. You can make a hat to wear or a boat to play with. Really easy crafts you can do with whatever art supplies you have. And we're going to start by making the hat. I'm going to push this down a little so you can see a little more easily. I'm going to start by folding the paper widthwise. And then I'm going to fold it again the other direction, but just a little bit, creasing, so I know where the center is. And then I'm going to fold the corners down, like so. Just a little bit like a paper airplane. So that's the shape I've got. And at this point, the flaps down here are going to fold up. Flip it over, fold it again, and what you have here is a hat. You can wear it pretty easily. You can decorate it in all sorts of ways. I've made a little paper feather here, really easy to add for decoration. I'm sure you can think of all sorts of cool things. But this isn't a story about the craft, it's a story about the captain who wears the captain's hat. And he's walking along the beach because, well, he has a cool hat. He does not have a ship. And that means that he and his crew are shipwrecked. They're stranded on the beach. And he's walking along the beach when he finds a box. And to make this box, you hold the hat open and you sort of push it together like this, and then you fold the flaps in like so. And now, naturally, if you got a box, you're going to open it. And so at this point, I'm going to fold open those flaps, like so that I get a triangle shape, which I can also pop open. And at this point, you'll notice you can sort of pull these parts apart, and that's what you're going to do. You slowly pull them apart. You fold up this triangle bit so that it sort of stands up. And what you have is a boat. You fold it up like this and it'll float nicely in the water, or you can hold it flat and it can be a toy boat for all sorts of purposes. It could hold your toy animals, or it could be a barge for your toy soldiers to go out on adventures. Really fun to decorate and load up with all sorts of cool stuff to go on adventures. And that's what the captain and his crew did. They grabbed some food, they jumped into the boat, and they sailed away across the ocean for adventures. They sailed all the way to the North Pole. And what do you think they saw there? They saw some interesting animals like polar bears. They saw a polar bear, and it was so cool. They thought it was so interesting. They weren't looking where they were going. And wham! They hit an iceberg. The whole front of the ship, that's called the bow, fell off. And now they were bailing. They were using buckets to throw the water out of the ship as they sailed all the way to the South Pole. And what kind of animal do you think they might have seen there? They saw penguins. Fun little penguins just walking around on the ice floes, not paying attention to them, but they thought it was so cool that they wanted to get closer, and wham! They hit another iceberg. This time the back half of the ship, that's called the after end, fell off. And now they weren't just bailing, they were pumping back and forth to get all the water out of the ship as they sailed back up to South Florida, their home. Trouble is, it was hurricane season. And so there was a huge storm. Whoosh, whoosh. The ship was going up and down and up and down. Waves were crashing over the ship, splashing over the ship. And they tore the sail away. The wind and the lightning were so thunderous. And now, ship didn't have a sail, so it couldn't steer. Didn't have both ends, so it was filling with water. Obviously, it sank. And the captain was rushing all over the ship, back and forth, trying to make sure that everybody could get into the lifeboats. Women and children first, he was crying. He was grabbing everybody, throwing them into the lifeboats, letting the lifeboats down and so they could sail away safely away from the sinking ship. And then he realized, well, he'd sent all the boats away. He didn't have a way to get home himself. And you can ask your parents. They'll tell you that the captain's always supposed to go down with the ship. Which he did. But he was all right because he remembered something. He remembered that there's something special you should always wear when you're aboard a ship, and that is a life jacket. And that's the story of the captain, his hat, his boat, and his life jacket. Thank you very much for listening. Happy crafting, and I hope we'll see you back at MDPLS very soon.